In the US, racing champions have been crowned at a multitude of tracks, but none are quite as synonymous with the word champion as Homestead-Miami Speedway. Since 2002, Homestead has been the location of coronation for every one of NASCAR's National Touring Series champions. Names like Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Cole Witt permanently signed their names in the NASCAR history book at Homestead. But the story ends there.
Some strong, mixed opinions about moving championship weekend away from the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
NASCAR has decided to move the finals around a bit, just like the Super Bowl.
In November, NASCAR announced that they had shelved the traditional Miami Championship weekend in favor of a system where the championship venue will rotate, starting at Phoenix in 2020. NASCAR has left a championship-shaped hole at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and for the first time in history, that hole will be filled with United States Senators. That's right, all your favorite senators, from Bernie Sanders to Mitch McConnell to Elizabeth Warren, will trade the Senate chamber for a combustion chamber. There will be 4 heat races with 25 senators each, with only the top 5 senators from each heat moving on to the final. Each senator will pilot a spec Skip Barber Racing School car, but their AI skill level in iRacing has been determined by their morning consult approval rating and their age is their actual age. They were placed into 5 tiers based on their approval ratings, and 5 drivers from each tier were randomly assigned to each group. That should be enough explanation. It's now time for Heat 1 of the 2020 Senate race. Welcome to Heat 1 of the Senate race, here in beautiful Homestead-Miami Speedway, here in the political swing state of Florida. We got 2 Florida senators in the field for this race, with their home field advantage, Marco Rubio and Rick Scott. Then we also got a couple more notables that will go through in qualifying. Alright, we're seeing Bob Casey has left the pits, Chris Murphy, and Jerry Moran are out on track. Here's Jerry Moran leaving the pits.
This is looking to be at least a decent race.
I sure hope so. The test races with this group went pretty well.
Yeah, these are all, like, sane people.
Here's one of our notables, Elizabeth Warren, hanging out, but I know you guys want to see cars on track, so...
Honestly.
Chris Murphy of Connecticut.
All this
Bob
talk...
Casey, first out on track.
Yeah.
Been interrupted.
I have been interrupted.
You have been. Boom! Chris Murphy.
Racing, though. It's got me thinking about illegal gambling, betting on racers and all.
Todd Young's leaving the pits, so
I'm
Bob...
a fan of illegal gambling.
Where is
me
Bob
too.
One of my
Casey?
favorite pastimes.
I've lost everything so many times.
Aaron, what do you think about Bob Casey of Pennsylvania, our first Pennsylvania senator from our home state?
I'll be honest, I don't think he's gonna win.
He could. He's not too far back. 42 approval rating.
Now, we do know
age
one
60.
person who absolutely is, and that would be Pat Roberts.
Pat Roberts of Kansas. I don't believe he's left the pits yet. But Pat Roberts is 84 years old. He's one of the oldest senators, and he has an approval rating of only 37. So we'll probably see him hanging around the back this race if he ever leaves the pits.
He's the ultimate underdog.
Here he comes. Took him a while to come, but that usually happens with old people. So Pat Roberts leaves the... We're cutting that out. Pat Roberts leaves the pits. Pat Roberts leaves the pits with the orange car of either Doug Jones or Rick Scott up ahead. Home Senator Rick Scott, you know.
Oh yeah, Rick Scott won in the test round. In fact, both Florida senators.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who were able to win in test rounds. It all depends on avoiding crashes and being there in the last lap. Chris
Basically,
Murphy.
you just have to be good.
The 2
Just have to
red
be good,
cars.
then you can win.
Aaron, we're seeing some bipartisan work here between the 2 red cars of Chris Murphy, the Democrat, and Marco Rubio, the Republican.
How do they both have?
Rubio is unintentionally giving Chris Murphy a bit of a draft here, and he's hoping to slingshot and get a big lap.
Joey, who would you put your money? Who do you give the best chance?
I mean, we have John Barrasso and Mike Enzi, the 2 Wyoming senators, of 64 and 62%
Wyoming
approval rating.
Is good for driving because it's just empty. And
Exactly.
so it is the parking lot of states.
It takes
except for Yellowstone.
Oh, Chris Murphy. That was going to be a good lap for Chris Murphy, but he's just coming to the pits for whatever reason. As we see Ben Cardin set a lap, Doug Jones. Let's see how Marco Rubio... Oh, whoa! He gets real squirrely coming to the pits. Now, my favorite name is Mike Crapo. It's actually Crapo, but Crapo is so much better. Mike Crapo of Idaho.
This poor man, he shares the same fate as John.
As Ron Wyden goes to the top, Elizabeth Warren with a big lap. That's Elizabeth Warren in the inside there with
Tim Kaine in
yep.
number 1.
Hillary Clinton's vice presidential pick, Tim Kaine.
What a surprise.
Goes to the top. Rick Scott in the middle, the other Florida senator. Qualifying is over. Only 16 guys have set laps, so everyone better speed it up and get their laps done. Is that, that's a bronze car. That's either Gene Shaheen or Mike Enzi.
Carden out of nowhere.
Wow.
Oh, that's Mike Enzi. Mike Enzi isn't going to set a lap, so he's going to have a...
Enzi did well in the last.
Ron Wyden jumps up to second, and I believe that Mike Crapo is going to get a big draft here. So this could be a good lap. Mike Crapo could surprise everyone and go to pole. Getting the draft from, I believe that's John Barrasso or Elizabeth Warren.
Wow,
Mike Crapo, only 6th. That's not that good of a lap.
Blumenthal.
But Blumenthal, 2,000ths of a second off.
Barrasso did not. Oh, interesting. Well, he did okay.
No, 8th place is decent.
Top
if
half.
he didn't have a draft. Tom Udall gets a lap in. And I think, unless Josh Hawley. Oh, there's Josh Hawley. Where's he go? Nowhere. How about Lindsey Graham? No, Lindsey Graham doesn't get a lap done, and nor does Mike Enzi. So,
Graham and Enzi, two
Lindsey
top
Graham.
contenders.
Yeah, they're going to be...
Did weirdly well in the test rounds.
So they're going to have a lot of work
ambitious.
to do. Deb Fisher is the last of the people who got a lap done, even though it was only a warm-up lap. Pat Roberts is last of the ones who did a real lap.
Oh, Pat Roberts actually did a lap.
So qualifying has come to an end, and we will see everyone in the race. Alright, now on the grid, starting on the last row all alone, the youngest senator in the entire Senate is Josh Hawley in the black and red car from Missouri. On the second to last row, with the second highest approval rating in this race, we're going to look for him to make his way up the field, is Mike Enzi of Wyoming. Up ahead in the 12th row, 11th row, whatever it is Pat Roberts, the worst-ranked senator in the entire field. We'll look for him in the background of every shot today, alongside his left front wheel, as I circle around to get back to the roll bar. That's a space bar. Alongside Deb Fisher of Nebraska in the bright blue car, and another bright blue car, the other one of Tom Udall of New Mexico, alongside Martin Heinrich, also of New Mexico. It's an all New Mexico 10th row. And here's our home senator, Bob Casey of Pennsylvania, on the 9th row, alongside failed presidential candidate Michael Bennet of Colorado. Then Todd Young of Indiana, big racing state Indiana, alongside Jerry Moran. I said Indiana, I don't care. Then on the 6th row is Doug Jones, the historic Democratic Alabama senator, defeater of Roy Moore a couple years ago, alongside Ben Sasse of Nebraska, failed stand-up comedian. Then Chris Murphy on the 6th row of Connecticut, alongside Steve Daines of Montana. He'll be going up against Steve Bullock in November for that Senate seat. Gene Shaheen of New Hampshire, possible Joe Biden vice presidential pick, alongside the other Florida senator, Rick Scott. Then John Barrasso, the highest-rated driver in the field from Wyoming, alongside Marco Rubio, another presidential candidate and a drinker of water during a State of the Union response. Then into the top 6, Mike Crapo, good lap from Idaho, alongside Hillary Clinton's vice presidential pick, Tim Kaine. Then Ron Wyden of Oregon, the Democrat, alongside Elizabeth Warren, another Democrat, and another presidential candidate. And then on the front row, Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and Ben Cardin of Maryland will lead the field to green. It's all Democrats in the top 5, Aaron. Do you think that'll stay at the end of the race?
Well, I guess we'll see. There's only one way to find out, though, and it's to start the race. Currently, the person leading the race is safety.
Yeah,
So it's anyone's game.
I mean, he could win. You never know. I don't know if Bernd Mylander's in there, or Sarah Fisher, or whoever else drives the pace car in real life.
Maybe the president.
Who would be the pace car of the Senate? Would that be like the... That would be the president pro tempore, or the vice president.
Vice president.
President pro
So
tempore.
Mike Pence is in that
Yeah, Mike
car.
Pence in the pace car, leading the field. President pro
Donald Trump
tempore.
is the one waving the flag.
Chuck Grassley will be in Heat 3. We'll see him a little bit later. But right now, we got our first group of 25 senators coming around turns 3 and 4 to come to the green flag for the first time. In an 8-lap race. It's all about staying alive. All right, coming to the line for the green flag, Ben Cardin, Richard Blumenthal. It's a really early start for Elizabeth Warren. Oh, they're making contact already!
Wow.
John Barrasso, Marco Rubio!
No, big.
Mike Crapo.
Big.
Oh, and Enzi's in 10th
They don't
place now.
even make it to turn 1.
Enzy is
fool.
beating
You
Enzy
fool.
with a
I'm
massive
winning.
jump. We'll see if this little pack can make it up, but there's only going to be
I think-
10 cars in this race. What in the world
Wow.
happened?
Barassa's just
Barrasso
gone.
has been obliterated.
Graham, Rubio, Crapo, and Sassy. The
Off to a
Republicans
chaotic
self-destruct.
start.
I don't think Barrasso can recover.
No, he's out.
No, they're
He's
not
out.
going to be able to recover. Barasso's out.
Oh, well.
Todd Young.
They're looking good
These,
for me.
if these guys make contact up here, big swerve from Rick Scott.
Well,
What are
now
you
we
doing,
have
man?
to go for Enzy. Enzy
Yeah.
is the clear favorite.
Well, it depends on
You
if
gotta
this
pick
pack
someone
can
else.
catch back
I'm
up.
picking Enzy.
I
Doug
already picked
Jones,
Enzy.
Enzy, Michael Bennett. They're
I think. All right,
Joey,
if
if Enzy wins, you owe both of us money.
I don't know you anything because I'm the lead commentator. But anyway, there's a big run for Richard Blumenthal. So is this just going to be a
Enzy's
6-car
almost
race?
in the top 5.
It all depends on whether or not the second pack can catch up. Mike Enzy with a big run. He and Michael Bennett
That's
might be in
crazy.
this. Unless this group takes each
Elizabeth
other out.
Warren in the lead. Never mind.
Yeah, she sent it down to the inside.
Never mind.
Early
She just
lap
went to
1.
third.
But all these guys need
Oh.
to do is keep it clean, because there's only 6 of them. There's only going to be one driver who fails to move on, and no, there's not. Mike Enzy's on the scene.
Wow.
Mike Enzy is...
Wow.
That's a rocket ship of a
Blumenthal
car.
beat Enzy now that neither of us are siding with
And
him.
Michael Bennett is in the fight,
Enzy
too.
with the fastest lap.
Never mind. And in second place.
And in the back there is Steve Daines coming into this fight. So it
He
is
did
a...
recover.
It's a 9-car race now. We thought it was only 6, but we're starting to get a little bit more...
Oh.
Mike Enzy
He's
is the
taken
race
the
leader.
first place.
Mike Enzy leads the way. He wasn't even in the lead pack about 5 seconds ago. We see Doug Jones back there. He's hoping to make it up into this pack.
Well, Enzy is our top competitor, so I'm going to start reading out some fun facts about him.
He's Mike Enzy, or not Mike Enzy, Doug Jones is hoping this pack comes to blows and destroys each other, because that's his only shot of moving on, as well as Chris Murphy, Gene Shaheen, Tom Udall, Josh Hawley, Martin Heinrich, those kind of guys. Michael Bennett has lost this pack.
So apparently, Mike Enzy is not just a senator. He is also an accountant.
Or he was an
Impressive.
accountant before he went
was.
into the Senate, probably.
Yeah, an exciting job. You can see where he learned how to race.
Yeah, all that money. All right,
He's been in the government
Oh.
since 1990.
there's Marco
Or at least
Rubio
in the
coming out of the
Senate.
pits. All these guys, Graham, Rubio, Barrasso, Crapo, and Young, they're all leaving the pits. So
He's from a town called Thermopolis.
lapped traffic, Aaron, could be something that comes into play here with all these guys coming out of the pits. But right now, it's the two great... Oh, there's contact with Steve Daines and Richard Blumenthal. They keep it together, though. Ben Carden to the bottom.
Enzy's now in 5th.
Ben Carden
Yes,
is going to
but
lead lap
No more
4.
fun fact. Carden's back in the top.
Yeah, he's been around this pack the whole time. It's an 8-car pack for 5 spots.
Rick Scott with a big opportunity here
Elizabeth
to
Warren.
move on at the home track.
Elizabeth Warren on the high side.
Rick Scott did do well in the tests.
I
He's in
am
the top 5, passing.
I am
the
most
favorite.
interested to see what happened on that lead lap, so I'm looking forward to the end of this race so we can actually see what happened. But right now, we do have a race to call, and Elizabeth Warren is kind of getting squirrely back there. Tim Kaine gets really high, falls back.
Did you say
Steve
this is-
Daines,
this is a-
ooh! Mike
lost one
Enzy
on
just had to
races.
slam on the brakes with Steve Daines slowing down.
Could have been another devastating crash.
And Ron Wyden and Ben Carden are going to lead lap 6, or lap 5. 3 laps to go. Elizabeth Warren
Enzy's
down to the
barely
bottom.
holding on.
Yeah, he's real squirrely. But these guys are so close to
Enzy
wrecking.
with a big draft.
Don't remind me of
opportunity here.
squirrels.
If these guys wreck, that's going to be hilarious.
Just don't remind me about squirrels. Alternate.
I like how Pat Roberts isn't
Enzy
even...
back in the lead.
Even with all these crashes,
Oh.
Pat Roberts isn't even in this draft, in this pack. Mike Enzy goes to the bottom. Elizabeth Warren on the top.
Oh, it's Enzy versus.
It is. But in the Enzy, it doesn't even matter, because there's 2 more
Oh,
laps
and
to
someone
go.
else is coming up. Blumenthal.
No, Blumenthal was always in this pack.
Yeah, but
But-
he was looked like he was about
Yeah,
to
it's
overtake.
the same 8-car pack. Ben Carden almost runs into the back of Tim Kaine. Mike Enzy and Elizabeth Warren are needlessly close in the top. But these guys are lucky that they're only going 3 wide. They're not likely to crash when they're 3 wide. They're
Warren's
likely to
falling
crash when they're
behind.
4 wide. And Steve Daines to the bottom. I don't think we're going to see a crash here, Aaron, so it's just all going to be about being in the draft at the right time, coming to the white flag. Coming to the checkered flag, actually.
Right now, it really could go any way. They keep switching.
They're all over the place. It's 5 Democrats, 3 Republicans. Last lap, Mike Enzy swerving on the top, coming to the white flag.
Rick Scott's in the back.
Will he make it in the top 5?
They're going to go 4 wide into turn 1.
Oh,
Widen.
He's falling back.
Widen on the bottom.
Nice
Blumenthal,
draft
Carden.
here.
Steve Daines in the top falls back. He doesn't make it 4 wide, but could
NC
that
has a
be...
clear opportunity?
Here comes Rick Scott on the bottom. That Florida advantage. Can he make it work coming into turn 3? For the final time, I think Elizabeth Warren and Steve Daines might be out of it, unless they can get a big run on the bottom. Elizabeth Warren goes to the bottom. Enzi's on top.
Enzi up top is not the
Enzi's-
place he wants to find himself.
No, he's slowing down too much. He's looking for a place to go. He can't find it. Ron Wyden, Ben Carden, Rick Scott to the line. And Warren and Kaine get those last 2
Unfortunate
spots.
for Enzi, had nowhere to go in the last lap.
Richard Blumenthal washed out in that last lap. That's a shame for him from the second row. But wow.
Technically, I still win, though. He did better than your guy.
What on earth happened on lap 1?
Yeah.
6
lap
Republicans
1.
out on lap 1. Oh, Mike Crapo slows down, and they make contact. Marco Rubio. Bam! Ben Sassy. Lindsey Graham. Todd Young. Here he is. Oh, Mike Crapo just slows down way too much, and that just destroys the field.
Barrasso
And
made it
Barrasso-
through, but then he hit the
Barrasso's-
wall.
Well, he had damage. Why did he slow down so much? I don't know. But there goes Marco Rubio.
Just ran out of gas.
Kabam. Yeah, Marco Rubio, nowhere to go. Doesn't expect there to be a crash.
That could be a thumbnail. We paused it at the right time.
Ben Sassy. He was an innocent bystander, too. He just sees all that going down. He slows down. And nope, bam. Right underneath Mike Crapo. A disappointing start to the race for the Republican Party, but a great race for the Democrats. They get 4 out of 5 spots in the grand final.